It's embarrassing to have a poor janitor like you as a father. So, don't you dare come to my wedding." I was overjoyed when my stepdaughter, whom I had for marriage, got engaged. Yet, I never imagined such a thing would happen. Phew, doesn't it look nice and clean now? My name is Jason. I work as a janitor. I started this job right after graduating from middle school. Growing up in a poor family, I chose to work right after middle school, eager to support my family. My parents were initially opposed, telling me they wanted me to go to high school, but I managed to convince them. "Jason, good job. You've been working diligently since you joined, always full of energy. I was just a clueless kid when I started here. I have to work hard in return. The cleaning company I work for is known for its meticulous work and is fairly profitable." It took some courage for someone like me, with just a middle school education, to dive into this. But the senior employees were all friendly and kind, treating me as a full-fledged member of the workforce. The people at this company, who accept me warmly without any prejudice about my educational background, are all benefactors to me. After 20 years with the company, now 35, I've become somewhat of a veteran, mentoring many younger colleagues. It's been quite some time since you started working here. Seeing your work ethic, the younger ones are growing up well, which is a big help. I'm just teaching them the work as usual. Their growth is all thanks to their own efforts. I truly believe that, not out of modesty. Thankfully, the young ones I've looked after were all straightforward and honest, so they weren't much trouble. Of course, I'm still keen to work as hard as ever, not wanting to be outdone by the younger generation. By the way, you're at the age where you could be thinking about marriage. Any prospects? President Smith teased me. Having focused solely on work, I hadn't had any special encounters with women and had never dated anyone. Given my financial status, I doubted anyone would be interested in me, so the idea of remaining single for life seemed quite liberating, in a way. Then, one day, I got back in touch with an old friend and we decided to go out for drinks. "Jason, you're still not married. All the guys we hang out with in middle school have kids now. It seems I'm just not meant for that kind of encounter." While we were talking, my friend offered to introduce me to a woman he knew. I felt it was unnecessary, but I didn't want to dismiss his kindness. So, I agreed to meet the woman my friend suggested. A few days later, I was waiting for my friends at the meeting spot, ready to dine with the woman. "Hey, Jason." Hearing my friend's call, I turned around to see a beautiful woman approaching with him. Where in the world did this guy meet such a beauty? I thought to myself as I greeted her. Her name was Lily, and she was our age. She was a high school classmate of my friend. Lily was a single mother with a daughter in middle school. As someone who rarely had the chance to dine out with women privately, I was initially nervous, but the conversation flowed more easily than expected, given we were of the same generation. Then, my friend began to boast about me as if I were his own achievement. "This guy is actually quite good at cooking. Really. I respect men who can cook. Having grown up in a household where both parents worked, I often helped with chores when they were busy. So I've been good at cooking from a young age. I'm not very good at cooking myself. I'd be happy if you could teach me sometime." Does this mean she wants to meet again? Surprised but pleased by her positive response, I was thrilled at the prospect of getting closer to such a beautiful woman. Our conversation continued to flow, and by the end of the evening, we had exchanged contact information. A few days later, just as we had discussed over dinner, she contacted me wanting to learn how to cook. We were able to quickly arrange a meeting, as she had kept her schedule open to match my day off. I never expected she would actually come to my house. As we prepared the meal, I taught her how to cook. Lily, despite claiming she wasn't good at cooking, caught on quite quickly. She was delighted with the dishes I made, praising how delicious they were. "It would be so nice to be married to someone like you. Life would surely be enjoyable every day. If you say things like that, I might just take you seriously, I thought. While thinking such thoughts, I became curious about why someone like her had gotten divorced and decided to ask. She looked down and was silent for a while. Sorry, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. No, it's okay. Lily then shared the story of her divorce. It started with harassment from her ex-husband. Apparently, he was the type who couldn't stand it if things didn't go his way, and he constantly nagged her about the smallest things. Their personalities clashed, leading to the divorce. My daughter got along well with her father, but I just couldn't handle it anymore. It's understandable to get fed up when faced with constant nagging every day. Continuing to endure such a situation would only have caused her mental distress. Choosing to divorce was probably the best decision for her. If it were me, I would never make you go through such hardship. Surprised by my words, Lily showed a startled expression. Realizing what I had just blurted out, I became aware of my slip. Oh no, that was just, I frantically searched for an excuse, but couldn't come up with a proper response. However, Lily chuckled and said, Jason, you're funny. So, would you make me happy then? What did she mean by that? At least, it seemed she didn't have a bad impression of me. Thanks to that exchange, we gradually grew closer. After a while, we began dating. I was ecstatic to have a girlfriend for the first time in my life. This led to playful teasing from my coworkers. Lily and I continued our relationship smoothly. Especially since she really enjoyed my cooking, she would often request it. Your cooking is delicious too, so I think you should try making different dishes yourself. But I still can't match up to you. Emma really loves your cooking and always seems so happy eating it. According to Lily, her daughter Emma always looked pleased eating my cooking. Though I had met Emma a few times, given her adolescent age, we had struggled to connect. Knowing she enjoyed my cooking made me feel good. After all, if Lily and I were to marry, Emma would become my daughter. If this could be a stepping stone to building a good relationship, nothing could be better. I learned Emma's preferences from Lily and practiced making dishes she would like. When I actually made them and gave them to Lily to take home, Emma was thrilled. I heard from her. As a kid, it was tough on the days when I couldn't eat my mom's cooking, but now I'm glad I went through that, I thought. Reflecting on this, I felt grateful for my past circumstances for the first time. After continuing our smooth relationship, Lily and I got married, and I became Emma's father. There was some awkwardness in becoming her new father, but we were gradually able to communicate somehow. Lily had told me that it's difficult with adolescence, and I tried to accept Emma as she was without rushing. Years passed, and Emma, now an adult, said she had something important to tell me. I've found someone I want to marry. Emma brought joy not only to herself but also to us. Her partner is the son of a company president, so it seems she won't have to worry about financial hardships. Emma happily showed us a photo of her fiancé. Though I've been her father for a few years now, there's an inevitable feeling of loneliness, but it's a happy occasion nonetheless. I reassured myself to wholeheartedly support her. That's wonderful, Emma. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to the wedding, I said, excited at the thought of seeing her in a bridal gown. However, Emma's next words shattered my expectations. What are you talking about? There's no way I'd invite someone like you to my wedding. For a moment, my mind went blank, unable to comprehend what I had just heard. But seeing the look of disgust on Emma's face, I couldn't help but understand that her words were rejection. What do you mean, Emma? It's embarrassing to have a poor janitor like you for a father. Her unexpected statement left me bewildered. She added more shock by saying she would invite her real father to the wedding instead. Her real father, meaning Lily's ex-husband, from whom she had divorced. Why would his name come up now? As I struggled to make sense of it all, Emma explained, "My real dad isn't poor like you, and I wouldn't be embarrassed to have him at the wedding." It turned out that Emma had been meeting with her biological father even after Lily and I got married. Lily then spoke up, seemingly aware of these meetings. "It's not a problem, right? It's fine for Emma to meet whoever she wants." It seems that Lily was aware of Emma meeting with her biological father. Indeed, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. However, Emma had told me she had never met her biological father. "Why did you feel the need to lie about that? Because if you found out and it led to you and Mom divorcing, who would cook for us every day?" Her unexpected response left me speechless. Was she implying that she lied to me just for that reason? Did I mistakenly think of us as a family when, to Emma, I was nothing more than a cook? As I stood dumbfounded, Lily delivered another blow. "Your value is just that, isn't it? I married you because you can cook." That was a truth I couldn't bear to accept. Digging deeper, I learned that they were never in financial trouble due to the divorce settlement. Apparently, Lily was just looking for a temporary replacement for her ex-husband's cooking skills. "You were just a stopgap until I found a better man." Realizing that my happy life was a facade was a harsh truth to face. Feeling used and pathetic for being taken advantage of, I was at a loss for words. "Just make sure you don't show your face at the wedding. I've already discussed it with my father," Emma insisted. "All right, I got it. I'll just stay home as you wish." To be honest, I'm not convinced, and the shock is just too much. But if everything is already decided, there's probably nothing I can do about it now. In the end, I had no choice but to reluctantly accept the situation. On the day of the wedding, I took a day off as instructed and stayed at home, just as Emma had told me to. Then, my phone rang with a call from Lily. "Why is she calling now, during the wedding?" Reluctantly answering, I heard Lily's frantic voice on the other end. "Please, come to the wedding right now." "Oh, what are you talking about all of a sudden?" I couldn't understand why, after being explicitly told not to attend the wedding, I was now being asked to come at the last minute. Upon inquiring further, I learned that the groom and his family were quite upset about my absence from the ceremony. Admittedly, I had anticipated this reaction. The groom, a scion I was familiar with, turned out to be the son of President Abel, whose company I regularly serviced as a janitor. I recognized him immediately when Emma showed me his photo, thanks to our prior acquaintance. President Abel had always appreciated my meticulous cleaning work. And his son had been kind to me as well. I had even greeted them before, letting them know Emma would be under their care. Naturally, they must have expected to meet me at the wedding, but instead, they were confronted by a stranger claiming to be the father. It was only logical for them to be confused by the situation. Apparently, both Lily and Emma were questioned extensively about their treatment of me, leading them to reveal everything that had happened. "If you don't come," they said, "they'd consider the marriage null and void." And Emma has started crying. "I'm sorry, but I won't be going. After all, I'm nothing more than a cook to you too. Plus, it was you who told me not to come in the first place, wasn't it?" Upon hearing my response, Lily, perhaps panicking, began to frantically make excuses. Regardless, I had no intention of heading to the wedding at this point. Also, I've decided to leave this house today. I have no intention of living with you two as just a cook. Indeed, I had taken the day off to move out of the house. I no longer felt any familial affection for Lily or Emma and had no desire to continue living with them. "Wait a minute, that's just too selfish. I'd say the same to you both," I retorted before hanging up. Lily called several more times after that, but I ignored them all and left the house. As a result of this ordeal, Emma's marriage was apparently called off. Later, President Abel informed me of everything. I apologized repeatedly for causing trouble involving him and his son, but he actually thanked me. He expressed gratitude for preventing his son from marrying someone so deceitful, leaving me with mixed feelings about whether to be happy or not. Lily and Emma, exposed for their treatment towards me, were nearly ostracized by their family and acquaintances. They have since moved to a different town, trying to make a fresh start. While I support their efforts to change, I doubt I'll ever be involved with them again. What was my marriage all about? Even if it was a false happiness, the realization that I could have continued living blissfully unaware makes me feel miserable. But dwelling on the past won't change it. I remind myself that it's all in the past and focus on moving forward with a fresh start. Since then, I've dedicated myself even more to my work. One day, President Abel called me in for a meeting that would become a turning point in my life. "Jason, your work ethic and character are impeccable. Though it's a different industry, would you consider working for us as an employee?" President Abel personally offered me a position, appreciating my personality. While I felt a sense of duty to my current employer, the prospect of a better income was crucial for my future. After much deliberation and discussion with President Smith of my current company, I accepted the offer. My departure was deeply regretted, but I was sent off with smiles in the end. Adjusting to the new job was challenging at first, but with support from President Abel and colleagues, I gradually became accustomed to the work. Over time, I significantly improved my performance and received a substantial salary increase. Years after the transition, I became responsible for training newcomers. "Jason, I look forward to working with you. Likewise, I know you might be nervous, but let's take it easy and not stress too much." The new employee, a sincere and diligent woman. She immediately gained my respect for her hard work and made me want to support her even more. When she achieved her first success at work, we went out for drinks to celebrate. "You did a great job this time. It's because you were always there to support me, Jason. I'm really grateful that you were assigned as my mentor," she said with a smile that I couldn't help but find endearing. Over time, we built a trustful relationship and eventually started hanging out in our private time as well. I found her innocent laughter and joy outside of work to be incredibly endearing, contrasting her serious work demeanor. Eventually, I confessed my feelings to her. Considering the significant age difference between us, I was well into my 40s, and she was still in her 20s. I was prepared for rejection. Contrary to my expectations, she responded to my feelings with tears, accepting them. It seemed that she had also developed feelings for me as we spent time together. Thus, we officially started dating. After a workplace romance, we eventually got married and were blessed with children, building a happy family. Looking back on my life, I've experienced both good and bad times. However, I believe that by always looking forward and diligently working hard, I was able to achieve the happiness I have now. When my life with Lily and Emma fell apart in such a manner, I couldn't have imagined a happy future like the one I have now. But looking back, I'm proud of myself for not giving up and for staying strong through those tough times. To protect this happy life I have with my family, I'll continue to move forward every day.